Alright, Schlockmeisters fans, we're going to watch another video nasty here. This one's called Mansion of the Doomed. Let's check it out.
Even more.
Richard Bayard plays Dr. Leonard Chaney.
Artificial vision unit, sub-miniature television camera.
And we're going to learn why. It's because of his daughter, Nancy. Back to the accident. Graham is his partner, Catherine. Or his helper. Lance Hendrickson again.
I have removed one eye from each dog and transplanted it into the other.
So what he decided to do is drug Dan, that's the ex-fiance of his daughter, Dan's eyes, and put them into his daughter Nancy. She obviously has no idea where the eyes came from. The results are only temporary. She's blind again.
I can't see!
Remember Dan, the unwilling eye donor? He's still alive. Doctor's keeping him alive in the basement with hopes of restoring his eyes at some point.
Hi!
So he's gonna try again.
Where's this out for a drive? Where are you heading?
Towards Old World.
That sounds great. Come on.
And for good. Poor subject, surely. There can be no other explanation for this failure.
But it fails
Impaired
again.
vision, an unfortunate choice.
So that's what he does. He kidnaps people, takes their eyes,
That bitch.
throws them in a cage in the basement.
That bitch.
Another victim. I think Gloria Graham electrifies the bars or something so they can't get out when she dumps new people in there.
That's what my Nancy needs. Her new vision will regenerate itself for years to come.
I say to chef.
So he thinks a young person will do the trick. So
Wait
he
a minute,
kidnaps
this
a
isn't
little
the way
girl.
to Disneyland. You're heading toward the ocean.
I've got one more.
He ends up crashing his car and the girl escapes. And then he escapes. Those guys follow him home.
guy that owns that car?
That's Dr. Chaney's car. You have an appointment with
We
him?
don't need no appointment.
He's gonna bribe them.
All right, I'll, it doesn't know.
Hear what you
But before they leave, he invites them for a drink. And you know what that means. Their eyes are taken and they're thrown into the cage. None of them are adjusting too well to their new digs. Eventually, one of them dies. Well, a couple of them noticed a crack in the wall, or felt a crack in the wall, and started digging away at it, kind of like Shawshank Redemption. In a scene that really doesn't belong in the film, gets the crap beat out of him by a bum. Catherine's getting tired of this.
A girl died in the cage. I had to get rid of her.
Anyway, they take the smallest of them, one of the ladies there, and she manages to get through. There's a couple of metal bars there, but nonetheless, she's blind, and she doesn't get very far before she's discovered. Another one of the ladies escapes. Can she make it? Not before she hits a busy intersection, and Mel Sharples is the police
Let me
chief.
explain something to you, Doctor.
Vic Tayback.
We know how the girl died, but if you could tell us how and why.
Back inside the cell, they get a hold of Catherine. It's too late for her. The doctor has to bury her. You'd think he'd give up with the eye operation now because his daughter just... She does, however, discover the cell in the basement. But again, just doesn't take.
It's no use. My face is burning. I can't see.
Takes off, and then the prisoners are loose, and they lock him in. They're going to do to him what they did. They're going to do to him what he did to them. credits roll. Our prisoners are escaping. All right, let's talk about this movie, Mansion of the Doomed. I've never seen this before until today. And it's a video nasty. It's one of the Section 3 video nasties, I believe, which means it could have been prosecuted. Or, I'm sorry, it couldn't have been prosecuted, but it could have been seized. The movie itself, it's actually put out by Full Moon. It was their first movie that they were involved in. Came out in 1975 or 6, I can't remember, but stars Richard Basehart, I think that's his name. And he is a doctor who has a car accident with his daughter in the car. His daughter's probably 20 maybe. And his daughter loses her eyesight in the car. Now, he is a surgeon himself, and he works on eyes, and he's doing some experimental stuff. So he wants to try to fix his daughter's eyesight. He tries some transplant and stuff, or he's involved with that stuff, but nothing's ever really worked great before. But he's got some experiments in mind. So he starts taking people, basically kidnapping them, and operating on them, stealing their eyes, and putting their eyes into his daughter's head. Into her daughter's eye sockets. The first person he tries this with, her daughter opens her eyes and she can see and everything seems to be fine. But then we find out that it's only temporary. She loses her sight after about 24 hours again. So he tries other people. And next thing you know, he's just operating one after another, trying experiment after experiment, different people's eyes. He tries men, women, youth. He tries a kid. That's his thought, to try some kids. Nothing ever works. Nothing takes permanently. And eventually he's got a partner played by Gloria Graham. And they take all the people whose eyes they are stealing. They lock them in a jail cell, basically, in their basement. Now, the jail cell is also electrified, so they can't touch the bars. And that's how they manage to open the doors and, throw new people in there. Lance Henriksen is one of them. He was actually the first victim. He was an ex-fiance of the daughter, Nancy. He's a doctor also. He's in there, and next thing you know, there's like 6 or 7 eyeless people in this cell, and they all look hideous because they have these big holes in their eye socket areas. They just look bad. Eventually, they find a way to get out. The concrete's a little weak in the basement. They manage to dig through it, kind of like in Shawshank Redemption, and the smallest person gets out, but they capture her again immediately. But then, unbeknownst to them, as they were bringing her back to the cell, somebody else escaped. She got out in the street, and just as the doctor was about to catch up with her, she got hit by a car and died, so she didn't live. Nancy, the daughter, basically accepts her fate at the end and just says, nothing's going to work. It's all black. And I think she discovered the people in the basement, and I think she sympathized with them and basically kind of lured her father down there, where after she let them out, or they were out, and I assume she let them out, they captured the dad. By this time, Gloria Graham is dead. They got a hold of her too and killed her, choked her. So he buried her in the backyard. But they get a hold of the father, and then one of the guys sticks his thumbs in the father's eyes and takes out his eye sockets. Now, probably killed the father. I don't know for sure because we don't really see it. But the last scene in the movie is the survivors wandering out in the yard. And that's how our movie ends. So anyway, that is Mansion of the Doomed. Again, a video nasty here. No nudity in this movie, but there is a fair amount of gore. It's all eye socket related for the most part. Now, if you've watched a lot of my videos in the past, you know that that's like the one thing that really gets me. I've seen all kinds of carnage on film. Nothing really phases me anymore, but when I see like eyeball pain, that just makes me cringe, like that scene in Zombie, and hypodermic needles in the eye, like, God, what was it? Strange Behavior. Did one of the Halloweens have that too? I'm not sure, but Dead and Buried had that, I think, too. Just eye socket pain, eyeball pain just makes me, and there's a lot of that in here. So anyway, it made me uncomfortable. But the film itself is actually pretty darn good. It's very well made. It's just kind of a creepy, grimy, dirty film, and it's unsettling. There's a lot about this film that's unsettling. These poor, suffering people in the basement. It's just... but it's a good film. It's very well made. So there you go. If it makes you feel that way, it's got to be doing something good, right? Anyway, that is Mansion of the Doomed. Again, I never even really heard this one before, but it's pretty good. Full Moon put this out on a Blu-ray and looks pretty good. They actually cleaned this one up and looks really nice. So way to go, Full Moon, on this one. Check it out. Leave some comments. I'll leave a link to it on Amazon down below. You can get this relatively cheap in the $11 to $15 range, and it's definitely worth it. You should check it out. Click that link down below and buy it. Check it out. Mansion of the Doom. Watch it. Bye. Leave some comments.